Okay, so this is the second time I'm filming this video because the first time it didn't save for some reason. So, today is Monday, August 12th, and today I learned a little bit about understanding how important school is. We talk a lot about how, like, when are you ever going to need this in future? Like, I'm never going to use this, blah, blah, blah. But I've realized that that's not the point. Like, that's not the point of education, I guess. Like, yes, there are some skills that you are going to need. There are some jobs that use trigonometry, I'm sure. There are some jobs that, like, maybe you don't want to be a doctor, so you don't want to do anatomy and physiology, but, you do want to learn physics because you want to get into that or whatever. Like, there are the aspects of, like, am I going to use this in the future? But there's also just the aspects of learning and education. And I've realized how important that is when I'm doing school. Because last year, as the school year was ending, I was really hating school. And I wanted it to end. And I just wanted to be done with school and just be in the summer. Which is kind of valid, right? I'm sure some of you guys can relate with that. But now that school is starting again, I want to make sure that I don't get back into that mindset of just hating school and dreading it every morning and being super inefficient with it because I keep stopping every 30 seconds because I'm like, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to get into that cycle because I do feel like I am nearing that. Like, today was the first day of school for me and for a lot of people, and I already felt myself thinking that way. And I want to cut that off as soon as possible. So today I just realized how much of a blessing school is. Because a while ago, when I was doing history, I was reading about, like, the Middle Ages and stuff, and they were talking about how, like, a lot of people, like, couldn't get education. Like, most people were not educated. Most people did not know how to read or write or do math or do the basic stuff that we do. That we learn when we're, like, in kindergarten. Like, most people did not get an education. Only, like, the rich men got education. And I was just like, whoa. Like, the way society is now is so much different from back then. Like, I'm 15 and learning about these crazy trigonometric functions that, yeah, maybe I'll never use them, but, like, someone discovered that, and someone was like, I have to tell this to people. And then it's just gone through the generations. And now I'm learning that as, like, a 15-year-old, when back then, if you were 15, like, you weren't doing anything. You weren't learning all these things. Like, that would be crazy if you learned these things back then. So it's just such a blessing. Like, I try to imagine, like, if I was the person who discovered all this crazy stuff, like, I would want to share that with people. And that has just been shared through the generations and through the system. And now it's gone to me. And now I'm learning about that, which is so cool. Like, that makes me so grateful and so interested in what I'm learning. Yeah. I do think that the way it's taught, I feel like there is a separation between, like, the reason I am speculating that the reason why we don't like school is because of the format and not because of the information. Because I do like math as a subject. I do enjoy, especially last year I did Algebra 2, and my math teacher was amazing, and she really made me think about how cool math is. But now I'm doing trigonometry with no teacher, just on this online program that's just, like, blank colors, and it's just like, learn this. You got this problem wrong. Do it again. You got this problem right. Do it again. Yay, you learned the topic. Let's move on to the next topic. And it's just, like, over and over again. Like, the differences between those two, I think, shows my love for the subject. The way, I'm not sure if this is exactly true, but from my experiences, this is what I have discovered. The way you learn something, the way knowledge is taught and formatted directly correlates to your interest in that topic. So I think if we can use the most of what we have and make it, format it ourselves in a way that's much more interesting, then I think that will greatly improve our interest in that topic. Because again, like I said, I do enjoy math, but the trigonometry course that I'm taking makes it so boring. Like, I don't have any human interaction. It never discusses the real world effects, and it never discusses like the philosophical or like abstract aspects of math. It's just like learn sine and cosine function and how to graph it, and then how to do the inverse function. Like, it's very concrete. And I think there is a place for abstractness. This is specifically in math because last year I had a really good teacher and she was able to do that. She was able to incorporate like the abstractness and like the meaning and like the applications of it really well. But then this course I'm taking now is just very concrete. And that just goes back to like the way it's formatted directly correlates to your interest in the topic. The reason why I'm thinking about this is because I made a video before where I talked about discipline and motivation and how to never need motivation ever again, and I talked about how to be sustainably motivated, kind of, and how you should find your why and you should make the process enjoyable. And I'm kind of just trying to make the process enjoyable for me right now, because right now it's just not very enjoyable. And I've come to the realization about how it's formatted directly correlates to your interest in the topic, and I'm just trying to think through myself how I can use that for my own school. And I'm hoping that it will be beneficial for you too if you are in school and are in the same position where you just like really dislike it. You dislike the process. I think for me, my problem is that I dislike the process, but not necessarily the content matter. Because, like for all subjects, because math, I like math. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting, and I think it can be applied in really cool ways. And there's so much cool, like, weird, abstract stuff you can do with math. History is really cool. Like, I'm learning about history is just stories of what happened in the past, and that's really cool. Anatomy and physiology, like, I'm learning about how my body works. Like, earlier I was eating ice cream and I knew why I wanted to keep eating ice cream, because of like the sensors in like my brain and like the sugars in the ice cream. Like, I literally read about that today, and then I was applying that as I was eating ice cream. Like, that's cool. And just learning about your own body is cool. Learning more about yourself is cool. So the content matter is interesting to me. I just need a way to convert the formats that I do not like into formats that I do like, so that I can genuinely be interested as I am studying, as I am learning the material. Okay, so how do we change the format that we don't enjoy into something that we do enjoy, so that we can ultimately just genuinely enjoy the topic in a way that we are interested in? So I literally just took 5 minutes. I wrote out the bad format and the good format and compared them and figured out how I can change the bad format in however, like, control what you can control, right? Change what you can change. There's not much I can change about the program itself, but there's things I can change about the process that I do that directly reflect the good format that I had last year. And I'm using math as an example because that's just what's on my mind right now. So my bad format is this program. The first thing I wrote down was that it's visually boring. Like, there are literally like 2 colors on this program. Well, actually, that's not true. It's just boring looking, and every time you log in, you're like, ooh, like, this is very structured and very, like, you have to do your math. Like, it's not very comforting. Like, yes, it does, like, the, like, you did it, Joy. Like, it has that kind of thing, but that's, like, fake, and it's just, like, a placeholder text. Like, that's not actually encouraging. It's not a human. So it is visually boring. This is just the smallest point I have, but if any of you use the Arc browser, it's like a cool browser that can like do a lot of stuff. I love it. That's for another video, but basically you can change the colors on any website, and if this website is visually boring, I might as well change the colors and just change it up sometimes, because that, I'm sure, will help. That's the first thing. That was just the smallest thing. The second point I had is that there's no creative aspects and there's no discussion. With my last class, with the great teacher that I had, we were just able to talk in class. Like, if I had a question about something, or if I thought something was cool, like, I could just talk about that in class, and then we could go on, like, she could mention things that were related, and we could just, like, talk about it and go down rabbit holes, and, like, that made class so interesting, and it made me love math so much more. But then again, this, like, there's no room for that in this program. I can't be creative. I can't, not only do I, like, if I find something interesting, like, what am I going to do with that knowledge? There's no one I can share it to. But also, like, the way it's presented, like, I never find anything interesting. Like, that might just be because I don't like trigonometry or something. But, like, I feel like I was always constantly finding things interesting in my Algebra 2 course last year. And that was a hard class. Like, there's a lot that I didn't like in that class. But I genuinely still found things that were interesting. But this one, like, I can't find things interesting. Like, it isn't presented to me in an interesting way. It's just presented as knowledge. But not as, like, helpful, intriguing, like, cool knowledge. It's presented as knowledge. Like, learn this. But it never talks about, like, the history or, like, the, I don't know. Like, yeah, sometimes it can be annoying to, like, go into the history of, like, math topics, but, like, I took it for granted in last year's class. So, it was just not creative, and it was just not, there was no discussion. I never found anything interesting, and it's just not it. There's also the fact that, like, there's no abstractness. It's very concrete. Again, like in the last class, there was a lot of cool abstract topics in Algebra 2, and that might just be because it was Algebra 2, but, like, there were some cool abstract things that we were able to talk about and, like, go on rabbit holes with. Okay, so I'm sorry that I got cut off there, but basically what I mean to say in my action point for you guys is that if you just started school, or you're about to start school, and you really just don't enjoy it, then the problem is not the topic, but it's the process. So to